Hi, welcome to the first episode of my devlog, which is about my current project, a first-person shooter that will also have some horror and survival elements in it. I named it Aaron Hellbringer so far. The direction and general setting of the story has already been sorted out. So, aside from the beginning, I cannot tell you too much about the story, since I would spoil you. Just about the setting for now. It's set in our world, the present or pretty near future, and the main protagonist serves or served in the army. One can say he served since he was killed before the game starts, but one can also say he still serves since he has been brought back, well, more or less. And this is where the game becomes different than our usual first-person shooter. The main protagonist is a ghost. And this results in a need for a different design of levels, skills and mission goals. Well, let's dive into it, so you can actually see something. It is work in progress, so we only have programmer graphics. Look at these fonts and buttons. Whoa. Well, they do work for now. This test level button is just for me to try out new stuff. It will never show up in the real game, I hope. Let's load the game. I've currently implemented just 3 slots, but I could extend the number. Here we are. As you might have expected, Aaron can fly, or rather levitate. Looking up and down is currently implemented as in flying a plane, because Aaron is flying. But I'm not sure if that will confuse the players, especially when switching between NPC mode and Aaron's ghost form. Maybe I should stick with the usual controls for an FPS, but I'd like to hear what you think about it in the comments. As you can see, Aaron, as a ghost, can go through usual objects like walls or fences, so he moves on the map very freely. Of course, he also cannot be harmed by a knife or being shot by a gun. This seems somewhat overpowered, but he also has some disadvantages. For example, he constantly loses life energy, as you can see in the upper right part of the screen. Also, he cannot really interact with objects, like opening a door for example. So in order to get the life energy back and mission goals done, he needs other people, the NPCs. This ugly object serves as an NPC for now. The trick is his ability to take over NPCs and make them act like he wants. When in range, he can start the takeover process. Here is the technical base for it. Press 1 to X buttons within like 3 seconds. If the takeover was successful, Aaron resides inside the NPC and we are now seeing the scene from the view of the NPC. We can move the NPC and we can get life energy back from him. See? Upper right corner? Yes, this NPC is gigantic, but it is just a placeholder. Of course, the NPC cannot go through walls and stuff, but he can use objects like computers, doors and guns. This means you can use their weapons to shoot their comrades, their keycards to get access, and use their knowledge about the map to maybe find a secret. You will be able to see this on the minimap. There will be a minimap somewhat later, I promise. Shooting their comrades of course means you can lose your current provider of life energy, because they will be returning fire at that guy. Aaron himself will not get hurt, but the NPC he controls can be hit and dies. Other than running out of life energy, you cannot really fail a mission at the first levels. But every enemy who escapes will bring knowledge to the enemy faction. They will get to know you, your state of existence, your abilities, and they will implement their own countermeasures the following levels. Meaning the game will get a lot more difficult later, maybe up to a state where it becomes impossible to beat. But this is also still not decided. Again, leave your feedback about that and anything else in the comments. It will help me not running too far from everyone outside my own developer bubble and one day hopefully bring a better game out to all of you. I plan to bring out the next devlog in about 2 weeks. I will try to implement the real NPCs by then. I will use Freedom's Gate NPCs. They come with many features, but I will have to integrate all of these scripts and animations into my project. That will be an enormous task. I will talk about that next time. If you like this idea in devlog, well, you know what to do. See you in about 2 weeks then. Bye!